Who in the what in the where I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me.
Hey, we are fired up over here. We're excited about our Pelicans. Welcome to the next episode of State of the Pels. I'm Chrissy Smith, and we've got Everett Cooper here. Hey, Everett, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How you doing today?
Good, doing good. Excited coming off that win yesterday, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Pelicans right now. We've got a lot to talk about today, so
We
let's
do.
get into it. First thing, I want to talk about Zion and his just amazing performances that he's been lately. I mean, he's scoring over 30 points lately,
Yes.
averaging that huge numbers from him, and it's helping the Pels so much. I mean, it's taking pressure off everybody. He's doing everything great. So report also came out that he had lost 25 pounds from December,
Yes.
and I mean he's just flying high right now. Like that's how I feel.
Absolutely.
Like literally the weight's off and he is just flying high for us. So what are you seeing right now from Zion?
Oh my God. Zion is playing absolutely amazing. First of all, with that report, you can actually see it in his face and just his shape and the way how he elevates above the rim. You know, he's jumping higher than I think I've ever seen him jump before, going all the way back to his Duke days. And it's
Mhm.
absolutely an amazing thing to see. You know, one thing I really notice about Zion and just his play and his overall is just how he's being more patient. I feel like he's letting the game come to him a little bit more, and you could tell that, and we'll get into this about the whole Brandon thing, that the games right after Brandon went down, he probably felt he needed to do a little bit more. So he was pressing a little bit hard, and it didn't allow him to play his game. But just like yesterday's game, he got back into his rhythm, let the game come to him, and he had 36 points, 7 assists, and I think
He
six
only missed
rebounds.
one shot the whole
Only missed
game.
one shot,
Yeah.
and he was making his free throws. So 10 for 14 from the free throw line. It was an amazing performance, and he's super active and engaged on the defensive end. So
Yeah.
Zion is playing an amazing game right now, and he's really leaning into that leadership role of this team, and it's something that we've all been waiting many years to see. So I'm very
Mhm.
excited about his play and just where he's at in his continued growth in this entire development.
Yeah, you talk about the defensive side of it, and I'm seeing him work really hard on that. Like
Mhm.
yesterday, I saw him. He was down on the block, and there was a shooter open on the 3-point line. He came
Mhm.
running out there, jumped, tried to contest the shot, and I'm like, that takes a lot of extra effort to do that. Whereas he could have just, threw a hand up and just hope for the
Mhm.
best. But he didn't. I mean, he literally went out there to contest the shot. So, um, I mean, he's really important. He's dominating right now. I mean, he's
Yes.
so strong when he goes to the basket right now that no one is stopping him. I mean, that his layups are, I mean, they're just it's like easy for him right now.
It's unbelievable on the touch that he has around the rim. You know,
Mhm.
I truly believe that Kyrie Irving is the best layup maker in the entire history of the game. Zion is top three because for him to be running full force
Mhm.
and it's not that he jumps and tries to jump over people, he jumps around people. So a lot of
Yeah.
times he'll jump vertically and then drift to the side and just lays it gently off the back of the backboard, and it's something that anybody who plays basketball realize that is a very difficult thing to do. And like you was talking about the defense, Zion is giving second and third efforts now, something that we've never seen from him. Normally he'll make that initial contest, and if something happens and they pass the ball, he's just standing there waiting for an outlet. Now he's getting back into the play. He is. I think it happened in the or Miami game where he wasn't having a good game, but he contested a 3-point shot. He then seen that the guy drove, so he got back into the play, got the deflection, and allowed us to then go on a fast break. That goes into his conditioning. That goes into a lot of the things that he talks about, where he talks about, hey, I'm doing extra conditioning. I'm getting my rest. I'm eating right. He's talking about the prep work, and I think a lot of that has to go back to him spending time around a professional like CJ McCollum, which allows him to really take care and live up to his potential, something that we've all been wanting from him.
Yeah, and I think we've known that it's there. So now seeing it
Mhm.
happen is just like Finally. I mean, this is
Finally.
beautiful, beautiful
Hey, better
Pelicans
late than
basketball.
never.
I know. Heck yeah, I'll take it. Better late than never for sure. And speaking of CJ, he's been a monster for us in
Absolutely.
these last few games. I mean, I don't know if it has anything to do with Brandon being out, and so CJ sort of creating his own shots, or if he doesn't feel like he has to go through BI quite as much right now. But this man's on fire from the 3-point line, and we need it because some of our other guys are struggling from that. So he's been fun to watch this last few
Absolutely.
games.
CJ, I don't know if you noticed, but CJ is shooting 50% from the field. I mean, from the 3-point line the last 6 games, which
I'm
is
not surprised. You can tell.
unbelievable. You can absolutely tell. You can see it in his legs that he's getting elevation on his shot. CJ is, now that Brandon is out, he's realizing that, hey, I need to step up. And he's a professional bucket getter.
Right.
So CJ is
Mhm.
like, I'm going to
Yeah.
go out there and I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive. Zion spoke about it in his press conference that, hey, CJ's been kind of filling in that third role, and he's been distributing more and taking a backseat to Brandon and Zion. But Zion was like, no, bro, we need you to get buckets. That's what you do. We need you to go out there and score. And CJ is taking that. And I feel like he's really stepping up to everything he's supposed to be doing now that Brandon is
Yeah.
actually out a little bit.
Yeah, and you can see him being a veteran and like throughout the season, I've said this a lot, like you could see him knowing, okay, this is my role. Like we've got
Mm-hmm.
BI and Zion, and these are going to be our top two. So, what role do I need to play to fit in there? But now with BI being hurt, and let's talk about that a little bit. BI gets
Yeah,
hurt. We know he's going to be out for 2 weeks, but we've been playing really well in spite of him being out. But that is, I think, because we're such a deep team. Don't you
agreed.
think?
Absolutely. And I think we talked about this last time that our team is not built in the matter of uh, top heavy talent, where how many teams out there, I mean, across the board, can have their secondary star be out, their primary star score 4 points and still win the game by 22, 23 points
Right.
against a
Yeah.
team that is trying to compete for a championship that went to the NBA Finals just last year.
Uh-huh.
So our team is built around even distribution of contribution across the entire team, and I love that about it because it allows everybody to shine in their own role. So that is
Right.
a beautiful thing to watch.
And the thing is, and this is not basketball related, but like I am a big San Francisco Giants fan, and we won
Mhm.
3 World Series in 6 years, and we had a ton of guys no one had ever heard of. And you know what? They just played their role. They stepped up. It is possible to not have, some stacked team like a lot of these guys go out and buy teams or
Mhm.
whatever. It's possible. You just got to find the right pieces, get them to fit the right way, coach them the right way, and crazy things can happen. And I mean, the Pels are definitely peaking right
Mhm.
now. I hope that it's not like the top of the peak for them because we still got a little ways to go. But I mean, and I know that we talk about Everett, you and I talk about how we're positive Pelicans fans,
Yes,
and
we are.
so I know that's how we like to look at it. But it's not to say that we can't look at things realistically and say what's
Absolutely.
going on. But I mean, what we're seeing right now is really, really great Pelicans basketball that we haven't seen and we've been all waiting for.
Absolutely. I kind of look at the Pelicans as a modern day. Um, Remember the Detroit Pistons with Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton?
Mm-hmm.
That team,
Mm-hmm.
they hung their hat on defense. They didn't have like this superstar top heavy team. Everybody played together, and it was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely just a beautiful thing to watch. We're a modern day version of that team, if you ask me. And the main
Yeah.
reason why, because of the fact that everybody contributes. We have a defensive, first of all, first team all defensive. I need to put some respect on Herb Jones' name.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Caliber player who, honestly, in my opinion, I've been saying this for months. I don't understand why he isn't considered defensive player of the year because
Thank you.
you can't name a better defender. Yes, the accounting stats for the big man is always leading in their favor, but ultimately, what Herb Jones does, guarding the best player every single night, guarding multiple positions, along with making up for the mistakes that his counterparts are making, you can't tell me there's another person in NBA that does the amount of work on the defensive end of the ball that Herb Jones does. Period.
No, I haven't seen anybody be able to do that. I mean, we are blessed to get to have somebody like him. And you know what? It all stems around him. We know we've got this great defensive player, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he's made everybody else work harder too because of
Absolutely.
what he's doing. I mean, I see things that Najee's doing. We know Jose's always going to hustle, but you have other guys that are coming in now, and I'm seeing them step up. Defensively, I mean, the Heat scored 88 points against us.
88
After
points.
Jimmy Butler talked his talk, they scored 88
Absolutely.
points. I
We
mean,
held it.
that is an amazing defensive
Insane.
effort. Amazing.
We held the NBA team to 10 points in the entire quarter. I don't care that it's the Detroit Pistons. It doesn't matter because holding any professional athletes to 10 points in a whole quarter is impressive no matter who you do it against. So
Yeah.
that is something that I truly believe we hang our hat on, and that our defense always leads to our offense.
It does.
So it is.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, that has been beautiful. And speaking of not as beautiful, right now is Trey Murphy's shot selection. I'm going to say his shot selection right now.
Okay.
And I wanted to talk about this a little bit because he's a great 3-point shooter. But
Yes,
I
he is.
don't know what's happening, but I feel like 80% of his 3-point shots right now are 6 feet behind the 3-point line. I
Mhm.
feel like he's trying to show off. Okay, look, I don't know, but I feel like he's trying to show he has more range than it's not proving that he does right now. Take a couple steps in.
Yeah.
A lot of times the defender's not even that close on him, and he just catches, pulls from there. I'm like, let's get a couple, like if you're not hitting threes, go make a couple layups and get your
Right.
shot, make a couple buckets, and then you're going to feel better. Why is he so focused on shooting these only deep threes right now? Is he concerned? Does he feel like he can't get open closer?
No, I don't think it's that. I think that's what he practices. You know what I mean? If you
But he
go,
didn't hit one. Like if you're
no,
not
he
hitting
hasn't
any,
busted
you
it
got to
yet.
take a step in.
It's funny that you say that because I watch a lot of the practices that they have at the facility, and they have the 4-point line. And that's where Trey shoots from. And he believes because he can make them. And when you practice something over and over and over and over again, you're going to attempt them in the game because of the fact that this is what you practice. It kind of goes back to the whole thing where people wanted Brandon to take more 3-pointers. Yes, Brandon decided he needs to take more 3-pointers, but all summer, all throughout the USA thing, he practiced mid-range. That's what he practiced. So when you practice something 10,000 hours, that's what you go to. So for Trey, I truly believe that he is comfortable shooting from that distance. It's a make or miss league, but I definitely agree with you when you say, hey, go to the corner, get an easy shot in real quick. But he has been doing a much better job of pump faking, getting to the lane and attacking the rim or dishing out of that. So I will give him that.
The thing is, and he might be comfortable shooting from there. I am uncomfortable watching him miss over and over again. So, and the thing is that pump fake and then driving to the lane only works if you're hitting threes. Otherwise, they're going to be sagging off of you. So I don't want them to get to the point where the defenders are sagging inside the 3-point line because they're just like, bro, you're going to jack one from 6 feet outside the 3-point line. Go ahead. We'll live or die by that. I just want him to get back in the rhythm a little bit. And I think I think hopefully he's not, but I'm worried that he's getting a little in his head again. I'm like, let's just, hit some regular threes. You don't have to be Steph Curry knocking down threes. A three is a three. You can shoot it from half court. It counts the same as right in front of the 3-point line. So I'm struggling with that a little because he is a really, really great shooter. And I'm like, we're going to need that with him starting, with BI being out. We're going to need offense from him.
Absolutely. And I believe he will. He had a terrible shooting game yesterday, but he contributed in other way. Trey has been playing outstanding defense. He had 8 rebounds yesterday, which absolutely helped. He had 4 assists, and I think he had 2 or 3 blocks. So if his shot is not falling, that's what they always say. If your shot is not falling, make sure you figure out how to contribute and help the game in other ways. So as long as he continues to do all those other things, I believe his shot is definitely going to come around. And you know what? One thing I will say about Trey, he don't really have too many consecutive bad games. So get that game out
No.
of your system against Detroit because we're going to need it
Yeah.
against OKC.
Yeah, speaking of that, let's talk about the next three games. We've got OKC, Milwaukee, and Boston. We have not seen games like that, like where we played those teams with Zion playing as high level as he is right now.
Mhm.
So what are your expectations for like those three games? Do we need to go 2-1, 3-0? Like what do we need to be at? We're going to be at home too.
We're going to actually be at home for the next 6 games, which is
Mm-hmm.
we need it because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
we're always on these long road trips, which is thank you NBA.
Yeah.
Overall, for the next 3 games, I'm going to say that one game at a time. First of all, you can't look ahead. I still to this day believe the reason why we lost to the Orlando Magic because we was looking forward to that game with the
Yeah.
Miami Heat after what happened last time. So we overlooked the team and it cost us a victory. So we just got focused on one game at a time. OKC is going to be a tough game, especially they just came off a behind whooping yesterday against, oh my God, who did they play?
Oh, I didn't see who they played.
They lost by, they played Milwaukee. There you go. They played
Oh, great.
Milwaukee and in Milwaukee and they lost by like 20 something points. It wasn't even close. So they're gonna be fired up
Yeah.
to get back in their winning ways. But hey, we have reasons to believe that we're gonna continue our
Mhm.
winning ways. So
Right.
it's all right. Um Milwaukee's not a good road team. I did not
Yeah.
realize that they have an extremely losing record. I think they're 12-20 on the road this year, which is
Geez, that's worse than I even thought it was.
yeah, it's some. Oh, maybe that was the Lakers I was looking at. Either way, they have a losing record on the road, which is uh which is not good. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Boston have secured the #1 spot by the time they play us, and they're going to start resting players. They've already started to kind of dial back on their injury management, load
Right.
management for the playoffs. So hey, I'll take it. A lot of people want, hey, let's play them full strength. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
If they won't take games off, let them take games off. We need these victories right now. So I really
Yeah.
want us to go at a minimum of 2-1 in these
Mhm.
games, and I believe we will. We do know that with Brandon out, it's going to cause us teams are going to load up on Zion. That's just the way it is. But OKC has nobody to guard Zion. They're going to put Lou Dort on him. He's going to be gone. He's going to foul out because that's all he can do. I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is. And SGA is out here scoring 30 points a night until he meets Herb Jones. So
I know. I can't wait.
I
I'm
am
loving that
very
matchup.
excited to see that. But no, we're gonna be okay. I think as long as we don't get ahead of ourselves and just focus on one game at a time, we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. And I wonder if I feel pretty good right now about us getting that 4 seed.
I do too.
So, but we got to win some of these big games, but I'm feeling good about that for sure. Like that'd
Yeah,
be really nice to have that.
absolutely. And we can't control whether or not the Clippers lose. We can't control that. We can hope, as they say, right?
Right.
We can hope. But if we don't take care of our business, it doesn't matter what the Clippers do
Mhm.
because we have to make sure we keep either who is that, Dallas, the Kings, or um, the Suns off of our because we're only at
Mhm.
2 games above them. So we have
Yeah,
to make sure
it's
we take
tight.
care of business. The West is brutal. It's
Mhm.
brutal over here, and
I know.
and we're right in the
But
middle
it's
of it.
I know, we're right there. I wish we could go to the Eastern Conference, we would fit better over there anyway. Like we're more that side
No,
anyway.
I don't know.
Keep it here.
I like the fact that we're in the West because I feel like it pushes us to be better.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I think so
Maybe
too.
I don't know. But yeah, it's good.
It's tougher, but yeah, it keeps us on our toes for sure.
Mhm. It does.
So yeah, well, I'm interested to see what we do. I think I totally agree with you. 2-1 at a minimum, we've got to do. I'm interested in seeing what we do against Milwaukee and Boston. I think OKC, I think we'll get that game. Like, I think that
Yeah.
we will. But I mean, it's just fun. It's fun right now. It's fun getting to watch this. It's fun seeing people on Twitter lose their minds over the Pelicans doing great.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of it. So
Me too. I'm loving it too. And something we was talking about just the other day on Spaces, we was talking about somebody asked the question, hey, how do you feel about Jordan Hawkins only getting like 2 minutes or 3 minutes in the first half? And I'm of the mind that at first I wanted to see Hawk play. But I understand that we are in that crunch time of the year where we have to solidify our lineups, and we're probably going to get Dyson back soon. So that's another person we have to try to make sure we find minutes for. And some people, because as good as Herb Jones is on ball, I feel like he's a better off-ball defender because it's almost like he can see the defense coming. Dyson
yes.
Daniels might be the best on-ball defender because he is absolutely phenomenal at it. So,
Yeah.
and we all know Willie. Willie is all about
Yeah.
having a defensive-minded person out there because, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Anytime our defense suffers, our offense suffers. So I
Yeah.
can't really say that he's wrong because this is what it shows. So
And that's something that Hawk will have to improve on in the offseason is his defense
absolutely.
because of, like you just said, the type of coach that Willie is. He wants a strong defensive team. Our defense does always turn into offense. So that's where he's struggling. Like Hawk, he has no conscience when it comes to shooting. I love it. Like
None.
he gets the ball and he's pulling, and I love it every time. But you have to be well-rounded to get minutes on the Pelicans team. You got to be able to do both ends of the floor. And he's just lacking in that right now. There's nothing wrong with him. I mean, he's young,
It happens.
so it's easily something that he can work on. As long as he puts in the time to do it, he's going to be able to get where he needs to be, and he's going to start getting minutes. We just have so many guys that can get minutes right now. So that's, I guess, unfortunate, but hey, at least he's on a team where he can learn from guys that are a little better than him right now.
And that's a good problem to have as a basketball team. When you have depth like this, it's a great problem to have to where you're able to have reserves that can come in and play right away. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited. I've got my week all planned out around the Pelicans games, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's go ahead and close it out with final thoughts. What you want to close it out with?
My final thoughts is as simply as fans, we are riding high on the wins and we are super excited. But when we do lose a game, we have to understand that our team has always bounced back from a loss. We've always shown resiliency and we're going to continue to do that. So even whenever we do lose a game or don't go our way, we just got to remember, hey, this team has shown us that they have the ability to bounce right back. So go Pels.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll add to that too and say people need to keep the perspective that it's impossible to win every game. Like you are going to have an off night. It's just part of it. So chill out. Like stop losing your mind because we lose one game. I mean, I cannot even imagine being that stressed out over one loss here and there. Like it's going to happen, but we're 44-27 on the year. Like we've had a lot to celebrate. But a loss, losing is part of it. My son's baseball coach, he's won state championships. He's a phenomenal coach. And he says something that to me, you can really apply to anything in life. But he says, if you want to be great in sports, but it's really in anything. I work in sales, you have to become great at failing because that is part of it all. So if you cannot overcome the mental part of taking a loss sometimes or losing out on a sale or messing up at work or something like that, you're never going to get any better because you can't learn from it and you can't move past it and say, hey, forget about it and let's move on. So I think some of the fans here, let's chill the rest of the season because we're not going to win every game, but we've got a great postseason ahead of us. So let's just try to focus on that. Let's be positive. Okay, guys, come on.
Yeah, hey, upbeat. Let's go, guys. We all right. We're going to be okay.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We're Everett, great seeing you, and appreciate everyone that's checking us out. You can follow us on X, and we'll follow you right back too. So I hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see you soon.
All right, take care. Bye.